So really it comes down to like, I'm powerless to do it my way. That's what it is. I am powerless to do this life thing my way. What even is my way? What is it? Is it, because from what I think, my way differs from day to day depending on my mood, depending, what I got my focus on, where my interests are. Like, my way is subjective. My way is ever changing. My way is, man, I know you can relate. So having something like a program helps keep me in line. Okay, there are these principles that I live my life by these days. Where does my thinking and behavior fall in line with these principles? Because what happens is my disease thinking will want to do something, right? Falls outside the lines of these principles. I'll justify it. Well, this isn't that big of a deal. Well, at least I'm not doing like super scumbag shit like I used to do in my addiction. Well, at least I'm not getting high, so I can sleep with a married woman. I'm telling you, man, this shit happens, and it all comes with a cost. Do something like that. You may not feel it now, you may not feel it tomorrow, but you're going to feel some type of way. You cannot live with those type of lifestyle guidelines anymore and not feel the effect that comes with it. And if you're sober from all substances, you don't have a numbing agent anymore. So you got to feel every piece of it. It's not fun. It's not fun. So powerless, man. Like, all right, so aligning in with this program shit, right? Even a sponsor. Now, sponsors are human. I'm not going to act like they're not. So sometimes the sponsor can be wrong. They are human. But for the most part, if you got yourself a good one who is in line with the principles, like, they're probably going to shoot you straight in the direction towards principle, right? When I'm helping other people, back when I was recovery coaching, working as a counselor, like, I can help someone with their problems because I'm not invested in it. Like, I don't have a stake in the game. Like, I don't have any emotions tied in with this. I don't have a desired outcome besides a positive one. When they're talking about things, I could see their side, I could see the other side. So I could see where there may be some confusion on their side. I can see where it may be a little dirty on the other side. And I can break that down. I can't make nobody do anything, but like, I can break it down. And then it's on them if they want to take that or not. But my point is that they're powerless in that situation. But someone like myself from the outside might be able to provide some clarity. And higher power, man, like, that's a tricky one I'll get into with the next couple steps. But like, if you can get on board with higher power, and you got to find it in your own way, that's another way you can let go of some powerlessness, where it's like, I don't know what the answer is. And it doesn't need to look like what I think it needs to look like to be considered successful, right? So even in my relationship, fucking roller coaster, right? Last few years, but there's a blessing there. There's opportunities for growth, rather than looking at it like, wow, it's been a peaceful 3 years. We didn't fight at all. We just got closer and more love. I mean, that would be great. Don't get me wrong. But like, we've had more opportunities to see the unhealed parts of ourselves through each other's actions and behaviors, and just through the mutual conflicts we've run into together, where it's like, I kind of look at that as higher power, where I'm powerless over some of those things. I'm definitely powerless over her, and another layer of powerlessness, I'm powerless over my character defects, and if you think you don't got one, denial's your first one. I'll give it to you right there. So that's another one that's really hard, where it's like, man, for the first few years in my recovery, a lot of these defects I had were justified. I'd minimize them and say, well, I'm not using, or I'm not committing crimes, or I'm not doing anything that's super bad. I'm not calling you a stupid fucking bitch right out your face. I'm just being a little mean, I'm not saying that's right, but that's what happens. I share this with you because it's like, look, you may be doing some of these things, and hopefully you can realize where justifying, minimizing, rationalizing behavior can be a downfall for you. you know, because we all have defense mechanisms in one way or another. And all they do is prevent us from feeling, seeing ourselves in a bad light, you know. So if I'm using these defense mechanisms and I'm blind to the parts of myself that still could be improved, that may be causing me some problems that I'm powerless over, then I'm not going to grow. I'm just going to keep rocking the boat and pissing the world off, and then I'm going to look around later like, what happened? What happened is I was powerless over these defects, and they ran a straight hole through my life. So powerlessness isn't a one and done situation. I don't just realize one day, oh, hey, I'm powerless, and then that's the end of the story. I constantly try to take the wheel back. I'm constantly trying to get a grip on myself. I'm constantly trying to handle my defects. Like, thank God I fully understand I am completely powerless over drugs. I am convinced that if I go back and try to use successfully, that is just not a possibility. And I'm good with that. Like, and there's times, sure, where I'm watching TV and I'll see somebody, there was one show where a dude is just like, he just like, somebody's like, hey, you want to hit this joint? And he's just like, oh, couple puffs, gives it back, walks away, and goes on with his day. That triggered me more than watching something with a full-blown drug party. Like just seeing someone be able to just, oh, sure, I'll take it or leave it, and then walk away and not obsess over it for the rest of the day. I know this is TV, it's fantasy, but whatever. But I mean, something like that gives me the, why couldn't I do that? And I've had a few fantasies, just daydreams. I mean, I'm an addict, it's going to happen. I have a few thoughts where it comes and it's like, I wonder if, now after 8.5 years, I have a lot of tools. I got more patience than I used to have. If I just don't run away from my problems, don't use on these days, don't use too many days in a row. If I busting out the whole whiteboard, right, with a whole freaking algebraic equation, sitting there like that girl with the meme where all the things are spinning, and it's just like, if I just do all this perfectly, maybe I can have one drink. It's like, what? Just that thought mindset alone lets me know I'm an addict. Like, you go through all that shit just to have one drink, like, keep coming back, bro. So I don't know, man. Like, I understand that, like, it may not seem like it in this mindset, but when I pick something up, something reawakens in me, man. It's like something is reborn. And even if I did just do one day and then didn't freak out and crave it the next day, all that would do is be like, I can do it. And I'd do it again in a week, or I'd do it again in a month. And then it just, the window closes so fast. Every time I've quit for a while and picked it back up with new rules for myself, I followed those rules for about one fucking use. It always comes right back. And then it comes back fast. For a lot of us, it comes back hard. And for those of us who have got a taste of true recovery, like if you really get true recovery, like where your mindset shifts, I can't imagine relapsing today. Like, I would have so much shit up here, so much I know better, that, man, I'd have to use so much to shut that up. So I don't even want to figure it out. I'm good today. Like, my worst day today doesn't compare. I don't know. It's and I got some rough days. Man. Life is life, man. I didn't just put the drugs down and life became a fairy tale. Like, that did not happen. But it is so much better, and it's manageable. It's something I can work through. I go through waves of feeling like I got power these days. Like, I could just, get it all under control. I can't. I need to be reminded regularly I am powerless over this shit. So yeah, step one, more than just a sentence. And there's so much that I didn't touch on, man. Like, if you're interested in learning more about steps, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to bust out all 12 of these things, and we're going to keep it rolling. My partner and I on the podcast, we broke down, the steps are in order for a reason on the Recovery Pod. You can listen to that on any streaming service with podcasts. Yeah, we're going to keep it rolling. So check us out, the Recovery Pod.